This video is a cautionary tale. But first, let me apologize in the beginning. This is going to be a long video, so feel free to fast forward or pause it, get a favorite beverage, sit back, relax if you've got the time. But it takes a little while to explain this. A couple of months ago, I still have it. It's a belfry 4-lever padlock. In fact, I'll show you part of it now. This is an oval. And I was picking it. And this is just an example here of what I had done. I put the tension tool in it and turned it to tension it. It was a little tight, but I managed to get it up in there. If you all know how these work, in the very back where the bolt is, part of the bolt, there's a inverted V, in which the upright of the tension tool goes in the inverted V area to engage the bolt, and you apply tension to it while you're lifting the levers to get the levers to stay up. And this was up in the middle of it, all right. And I was picking it, but I was not getting anywhere. So I said I'll just reset and start all over again. And I couldn't get this to come out. It was stuck very much. Look at that. And I mean, I would have to force it real hard, and maybe I could get it done, but I would take the chance of breaking the tension tool, breaking this off doing that. And I left it alone for a while, came back to it, tried doing it again, put some lubrication in there and pick wire in there and tried to move the levers, see if it was bound up in there, but it wasn't. And I worked on it off and on for about a week or so. And I just got frustrated and asked advice from some people, and they said, well, you can either do one thing, you break the tension tool and get it out and you lose your tension tool, or you could disassemble the lock and chances are you might be able to get the tension tool out, but another chance is you might ruin your lock permanently. So I was in quite a quandary as to what to do. And the tension tool, I get it from UK Lock Pickers. This is one here, the complete kit for a large piped lever tool. With the postage and the cost of the kit, you're talking about $100 or more to get that. And then the price of the belfry, which you can only buy in England or on eBay from England, and pay about $30 to ship it, and whatever price you have to pay for the lock, which could be another $30 or $50. So you could be paying about the same amount of money. So I made an executive decision, and I've done this in the past. I've disassembled plenty of Squire locks, so I had a small skill set on as to what to do. So I decided I'll take the belfry apart. And here it is here. What I had to do was I had to grind off all the rivet heads. These things. On the entire face of the lock. And my next quandary was, how do I get this brass cover off? I might have to ground these things off too, and not have this thing on there and just have a gaping keyhole. So I decided just to leave these on as the last things I remove on this thing. So I ground out the heads of the rivets. Let me take this off. Show you what I had to do. Sorry, my camera keeps on slipping, and I don't know how to keep it from not tilting. It just does it on its own. But I found out belfries, they have 2 layers of covers, top and bottom. And I drilled the rivets down to the level of the top here, so I'd be able to clear the rivets and be able to remove the cover. And this is the first cover. Take that off. And luckily, I didn't remove these because they were put on these separately. So that was nice to know. Then there's a second cover that covers all the working mechanisms here. Take that off. And I can zoom in here a little bit, hopefully. And you can see the working mechanisms here. It has 4 levers. You can see them now. There are no false case on the belfry. Back here is the bolt, the other brass thing, and this covers the bolt and holds it in, and then the 4 levers go on top of that, supported by this post in the middle, and there are the springs right there, and there's the bolt. Here's the key. Get that in there. See if we can throw the bolt there. That unlocks it. We'll throw it back, hopefully. There we go, without jamming it. I'm losing the levers there. But that's a fairly simple mechanism, standard. So what I ended up having to do after this point, after having filed the rivets away, I had to find a way how to reassemble it. So I had to drill individual holes where the rivets were, and then I got a threaded tap, and tapped all the holes so I could put these bolts on to hold the covers back on. So I could assemble it back up again, attach all the bolts in here, and I'd still have a working lock. So that's saved the lock 90%, or maybe 80%, without having to destroy it, and it's still a usable lock. And it's an educational lock. You can see how the mechanisms work and how the levers work and the key works. But I also went one step further and made this a plexiglass cover that goes on like that. So you can actually have the cover on and see how it all works. And you can also get a tension tool, not this one's too long, but it goes in and you can get your pick wire, place that in there, and start lifting your levers and seeing what you're doing. So that worked out very well. But as you can see here, this one is too big. So if I can get up here, you can see it goes up and engages the bottom of the bolt, but it doesn't go into the groove because this part is too long. And what I did was force it up in there and couldn't get it out, so I had to disassemble it. But let me go ahead and cut this while we got it out here. It's 4 levers. That's the first one. No false gates. Second one. Number 3. Number 4. Now a little trick here. Be sure if you take one apart, number the order in which they go into. I've forgotten to do that many times, and I've forgotten which order to go to, and I assemble the thing and the key won't work. So I end up spending the next hour or two trying all the different combinations in order to get the key work. So number these little suckers. It'll save you a lot of time. Here is the little piece of metal that holds the bolt on, and it also gives a space for the key, and the turning tool gives it a little space before it gets to the bolt there. And here is the bolt. And now you can see that little groove where this goes up into to tension the bolt when you're picking it. And you can see how long this is. It was hitting here, but somehow I managed to pop it up in there, and I just could not get the thing out. One thing you want to do when you do pick these things and you do have a handmade tension tool or one that's manufactured is get the key, the original key if you have it, and put that up against it. And you can see that the upright on here is much longer than the one on the key that throws the bolt. So that should give you a clue. Don't use this one. It's best to have a turning tool that's slightly shorter than the key, than the exact same length or longer, because you can definitely get it caught up in there. It happens a lot on square locks when you're trying to do that sometimes and using too long of a tension tool. So that's another little tip there. And that's the shackle. So we'll reassemble it here. Leave number 4. Number 3. Number 2. Number 1. And so we have it assembled in locked position now. And now we can put it together either as a lock or put this back on and use it as a practice lock. So thank you for watching this and spending all this time. And I hope this was a benefit to anyone who's into lever locks and runs into a problem like this, and how you can possibly solve it if you've got some mechanical skill. I just have a little bit, but I was able to do it. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.